is Katie. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you guys about how I choose a place to sleep at night. And so if this is the first video you've ever seen of mine, thank you for watching first of all, but I do sleep in my car. I sleep in this little Toyota Yaris, and I love it so much. And so where I sleep is kind of a big question that a lot of people ask. And I know that some people sleep on residential streets, and some people sleep at Walmarts, and some people sleep at campgrounds and things like that. I generally sleep in truck stops and in rest areas. 9 times out of 10 I'm at a truck stop, but sometimes I go to rest areas. That's kind of like my second, like not my last resort, but like I just would prefer to sleep at a truck stop. And I personally sleep at truck stops and rest areas because I look for like well-lit areas that have a lot of people going in and out. That's what makes me feel the safest. Obviously, if you have a different opinion on that, that's great. It's just what makes me feel the safest. And so the area that I'm in right now, there are 3 places around here, 2 truck stops and a rest area. And I'm gonna show you all 3 of them and talk to you about why I would sleep there or why I wouldn't sleep there. Because I do have some guidelines for choosing a place to sleep. I wouldn't just sleep at any truck stop. I would not just sleep at any rest area. I have some guidelines. And so I just wanted to share those with you guys today. And so the first place that I'm at right now is a rest area. And I actually slept here last night, and I woke up like a few hours ago, and I've been doing some work, and I figured that I would record this video before I leave. And so I'm at a rest area. Most rest areas are the same. There are some that are bigger. Like I know that there's a few in the Northeast at least. I actually slept at one in like Vermont or something, but I know there are definitely more that have like a McDonald's and like a store and a Starbucks and stuff inside of them. You know what rest stops I'm talking about? They're kind of truck stops, but they're kind of rest stops. Like they're right off the highway. They're not a Pilot or a TA or something. And so they're rest areas, but they have like a McDonald's and stuff. Those I love. Those I feel super safe at because they're big. There's a lot of places to park, and there are a lot of people around, and there's a lot of light. I feel comfortable with those. The one that I'm at right now is kind of the more typical one where they have bathrooms, they have vending machines, and they have a bunch of parking spaces, and there are a bunch of trucks. Like I'm looking at like 15 trucks right here that are parked, probably of people sleeping. And I have never had an issue, knock on wood, at a truck stop or a rest area. Never. And by issue, I mean I've never had anyone tell me to leave. I've never. The only places that I've ever had people tell me that I had to leave was when I slept at 24-hour parking lots of grocery stores. But every time I've slept at a truck stop or a rest area, I've always been able to sleep through the night, and I never got a ticket. I never had anyone knock on my window tell me I couldn't be here, anything like that. And so yeah, so this rest stop right here, I'm gonna get outside and show you. So obviously it's right off the highway. That's some highway. And then there are just, I don't want to like get other people in the shot, but there are just a bunch of parking spots. And then there's buildings with bathrooms and stuff in them. And then a bunch of trucks. And there are no signs that say you can't sleep here. There are no signs that say no overnight parking. There are no signs that say 2-hour parking or anything like that. And that's one of the things that I look for, which I will get to in a second. I hope you guys can hear me. But yeah, this is like, there's a lot of people always walking around. There's a lot of people walking their dogs usually at these kind of rest areas. And yeah, I'm gonna shut the camera off. I'm gonna go drive to another place, and I will show you why I wouldn't sleep there. Okay, cool. Oh, one more thing that I wanna say about rest areas, especially rest areas versus truck stops. I feel less comfortable going into the bathroom of a rest area at night by myself. There's nobody working in there, which makes it a little bit, just a little bit sketchier. Last night I used the restroom here, but I was on the phone, and I used the family restroom, so I was the only person in there. But the ones like the regular ladies' rooms with the stalls, like just kind of creep me out, especially at night, especially when like, yes, there are people around and there are people parked here, but there's not as many people in and out as say a truck stop. And so I would just highly recommend, if possible, to either be on the phone with someone while you're going in there or use the restroom before you get here. So that's just one other thing that I wanted to say. Okay, gotta do some work, and then I'm gonna show you the next place. Okay, so next we're at a Flying J truck stop. I love truck stops, guys. I just love them. There's a lot of people here right now. But right here, so like obviously there's parking spaces closer to the store, but these parking spaces that are further away, that are closer to the street, this is where I would park. And see, there's no signs that say you can't park here. There are no signs that say 1 hour. There's no signs that say no overnight parking. And I know that, or I can only assume that people have different opinions on what those mean. Maybe no overnight parking signs mean you can't leave your car there unattended. Maybe it doesn't mean that you can't sleep in your car. I don't know, but I also don't want to chance it. But if you guys know for sure, let me know in the comments, because I don't know. I just, again, don't like to chance things. But anyway, yeah, so there's a few spaces right here, and there's more spaces over there as well, I'm pretty sure. But even at least these like 7 or 8 spaces right here, for me at least, this is where I would totally sleep. And then there's the gas station, and there's a little food store in there. It's kind of like a 7-Eleven, you know, and a Denny's. There's like a McDonald's over there. So again, this is a place that I would sleep at because there are obviously people in and out of here. It is well lit. Obviously it's during the day, so you can't tell, but it is well lit. And there are a bunch of parking spaces, not right in front of the store. I never park and sleep right in front of the store, but there are parking spaces near the road. And there are no signs that say towing zone or half-hour customer parking only or whatever. And this is what a lot of truck stops are like. I'm not gonna say all of them are like this because some of them are really, really small and they don't even have these parking spaces out here. They only have like the 20 right in front of the store. And so I won't stay at those. And I'll show you guys in a second how I tell before I actually get to the truck stop how many parking spaces there are. But yeah, most truck stops, I'd say maybe 70% or so of truck stops have these parking spaces away from the store and they don't have signs or anything. And again, I've never had an issue at a truck stop in terms of having someone tell me to leave. And so I have this, don't mind my pajamas that I'm still in. And so you can go to locations or you can go to trip plan. Let's click on trip plan. And let's say we wanna go from Baltimore to Orlando, and you can add a stop. It's all, this app is so cool. Okay, so then look, it tells you all of the Flying J's and the pilots on the way, and it'll tell you how far they are and everything. And so say I'm starting from there, so I'm like, all right, I want to stop around here, and look how many pilots you have to choose from, which is awesome. And so you click one. Can you see me? That's creepy, I hate it. Okay, so you click one and it tells you the address and everything, and then it tells you how many parking spots there are. 277 is a lot. That one is gold. That one I would sleep at in a heartbeat. 277, I don't know if they mean truck parking spaces or car parking spaces or both. I don't know, but regardless, that is definitely one that I would go to, because no matter what this number actually means, I know that the higher the number, the better the chance that there are spaces like I just showed you that are not near the store. And so let's look at another one just to show you. My kind of rule of thumb is this one's a much smaller one, and it has to mean truck parking spaces, or at least a combination, because there are not 85 car parking spaces. 85 is kind of the least that I would go to. That's kind of the smallest number that it's like, okay, they probably still do have some available spots. I would say 85 is probably the lowest number. But anything in the hundreds, or like you saw before in the 200s, that's like great. Again, let's just look at this one. So this is 42. I wouldn't go there. I just wouldn't. There are probably not places to sleep there. And so I probably would not go there. And so that's how I check. And it's very similar on the Loves app as well. So this is the Loves app. Again, let's do Baltimore to Orlando. And so there are obviously less Loves, especially because the pilot one is Pilot and Flying J. But so see, this one has all these. And so say we wanted to stop down here. You just click on one. And then this pops up at the bottom. It tells you what restaurants and stuff are there. Then you click on that, and then you click on more details, and it'll show you. So this one I kind of judge by the truck parking. I'd say the more truck parking spots they have, the more likely they have. So then maybe the Pilot app is just truck parking. But regardless, it's kind of like the more truck parking spaces they have, I have just found, the higher this number, the higher the likelihood that they also have a lot of car parking. And so 78, again, like I would go there. I would at least go check it out, because obviously you can't know for sure until you go, but I would check that one out. Let's check this Daytona Beach one. More details. 69. So, these, kind of go at your own risk, I guess. Let me see if there's one with more. I'm actually going to show you guys a Loves in a few minutes Yeah, 78. Maybe Love's just has less in general. I kind of can't remember, but all of those, again, if it's around 80, that's kind of the lowest I would go, but I would still go check them out. Like if I was exhausted, I would still go check it out. And then also to find rest areas, you can just Google that. Like rest areas in Florida on 95. If you Google it like that, it'll tell you on the internet where they are. And that I don't look for any specific thing because all rest areas kind of have a lot of parking spaces. Okay, so I'm gonna put the camera down now, but when I pick it back up, I will actually be at a Love's and I will show you a truck stop that I would not sleep at. And so yeah, I'll see you in a second. Okay, so now we are at Love's. We're gonna go, it says autos. I'm gonna turn in here. And so again, I would never park up there to sleep, right? I would park, there's some parking spaces over here. Okay, so I came to this Love's last night hoping to sleep. But then I saw this sign. Since it says 1 hour parking, I won't chance it. So again, I'll just show you. I came all the way over here and this sign says the same thing, 1 hour customer parking. And so, okay, let me flip the camera over so I can talk to you guys. So again, I won't chance that. I really do not want to break the law. And so if I see signs like that, which by the way, are rare. I don't usually see signs like that at truck stops. I generally sleep at truck stops because there's no signs, unless I just have not noticed the signs. That happened to me like 2 weeks ago. I slept somewhere 2 nights in a row and then I went to go sleep one more night and then I saw a sign that said 2 hour parking, but nobody said anything. And so I don't know how like strict these signs are. I don't know if they're more strict with people just leaving their cars and they're not in their cars. I'm not entirely sure, but again, I don't like to chance it. And so even that place that I stayed at for 2 nights, once I saw the sign that 3rd night, I didn't stay there again because again, just don't like to chance it. But if this place did not have those signs, this would be a great place to stay because there's a bunch of parking over here. And I mean, you can just kind of see like there's a bunch of parking and yeah, it would just be a really good place to stay. So just to kind of reiterate, I check on those apps and oh, let's see what this Love's says. This Love's says 114 truck parking spaces. And so, I mean, I'm assuming that it's all of those. But again, the way that I see it is that the more truck parking there is, that there's probably more car parking as well. But so yeah, this is just really how I find a place to sleep. Again, if there's signs, I won't do it. If there are only spaces right next to the building, I won't park there either. And I feel safer when there's other people. And so if you're kind of confused or kind of like, oh, I don't know if I should park here, at least the way that I do it is if I see other people sleeping, or if I see other people, like you can kind of tell when they have like things up on their windows or something that they're sleeping. If I see other people like that, then I feel totally safe. If I don't and I see like no other cars in the parking lot, that's when I get a little like, oh wait, maybe I shouldn't actually be sleeping here. That's just again how I feel the safest. And if you can, use the restroom before you get to where you sleep, just because you really want to be secretive about it and you don't want people seeing you, especially I would say if you're by yourself, and especially I would say if you're a girl. But again, that's all just whatever you guys believe. That's just how I feel the safest. I would rather use the restroom at a Target or TJ Maxx and then go to the truck stop or the rest area. And again, using the restroom at a rest area is much sketchier in my opinion than using the restroom at like a Pilot or a Flying J or a Love's or a TA or something like that, because there's a lot of people going in and out. Like I feel safer when there's more people, because if something happened, then someone could help you. So I feel safer going to the restroom if I needed to do it. I've done it a million times. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm not saying that I've never done it, but even at a rest area, I've done it. But at a rest area, I just don't think personally that it's the safest thing to do. I feel safe sleeping there, but getting out of my car to rest area, I don't really feel safe doing. But at a Love's or something, like it's totally fine. There's people around, people going in and out. But again, you just kind of still want to be a little like secretive about it. And honestly, if someone kind of shows interest in like looking at me or flirting with me or talking to me a lot, I probably wouldn't sleep there, because I do not want them seeing that, oh, she's going into her car by herself. Oh, she's parking over there. Oh, she's still there 10 minutes later. Huh, okay. I don't want that to happen. And yeah, I know a lot of people think it's dangerous to sleep in your car. It's dangerous to sleep at truck stops or rest areas and stuff. But I, again, knock on wood, have never had an issue. I've had once or twice where people have stared at me or talked to me and I will just leave. Again, like I do what I think is best for me and what makes me feel the safest. And yeah, so it's really a quick process for me to find a place to sleep, but I just wanted to tell you guys how I do it. And again, let me know in the comments if you know for sure if these signs mean anything, because I am really curious. Like I wonder what would happen. I went to a Pilot recently that said half-hour customer parking only. I went to, I think at Buc-ee's, is that the name of that place? Buc-ee's? I think it says like 2-hour parking or something, or no overnight parking. And even some rest areas will say 6-hour parking only. And I've stayed at those places and I've maybe stayed 7 or 8 hours and nobody said anything. So that's all kind of just like your judgment and how much you want to kind of chance all that stuff. But again, I've never had an issue with the police or with just people working at the truck stops telling me that I needed to leave. I've never had an issue. And I think that's it. Do I have anything else to say? I think that's it. I think I'm done. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. And yeah, that's it. I love you. Jesus loves you. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.
I've seen this play out before. I moved on and now you're bored. My new relationship is popping, something you can't ignore.